Hi. Yeah, first of all, thank you so much for accepting my invitation to English talk session of our community. So before starting our conversation, I'm going to give you brief information of our sessions and our community. So our group is online-based community, Facebook community, and it involves women especially to develop their skills. And we have around 20 teachers, and we have created a community in February of this year, and we have around 10,000 members since then. And and we have like basic trainings in the field of marketing, different languages and basic programs, and even yoga class too. So those are trainings which are being taught in every month. And besides, we're having motivational speech, English talk, and monthly special training sessions which are developed recently. So I'm inviting you to English talk of our session. And for the motivational speech session is to give motivation from the ladies who are very beautiful, powerful of the sector. And we have, our first speech was given by the mother of two, who is a rising star of bakery sector in Mongolia, Timulun. Her name is Timulun. And this is our English talk first serial. Actually, this is the first one. And then we're gonna have like not only English classes, maybe like Japanese, Korean, and something like that, but in foreign language. And this session aims to give our members to learn different languages, and then maybe we can give them some motivation. So all the questions will be like your experience and then your thoughts on several items. So, and then, so here we start our English talk. And first question is, could you please introduce yourself, including your work experience, to our members?
Yeah, so hi everyone, my name is Reena. I used to teach at the University of the Philippines, and then now I moved to Berlin, Germany to do my PhD in Humboldt University. I did my postgraduate studies first in Hungary, so I did a master's degree there for 2 years before moving here to Germany. So that's whole summary of my background.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. And then I got, you just told me that you're doing your PhD in Germany, and what city are you in, and what is the situation there now?
Okay, so I'm based in Berlin for my PhD work, and my research is focused on closing the local nutrient cycle in small-scale agriculture. So we want to make it more sustainable and hopefully to help our farmers be more climate change resilient. So to help them adapt to climate change.
Wow, that's a lot of work to do actually.
I am just hoping, so hopefully, yeah.
And what's the situation there in your city?
Currently in this city, I think it's the same almost everywhere, that people are very, very careful. Most restaurants are closed. You can buy takeout food and things like this, but we limit the number of people also we can visit in our home. So just one person at a time, and also keeping the social distance and everything, and wearing the masks.
Okay. So what is the challenge in learning during this pandemic?
I transitioned also while I was graduating for my master's last June, and the pandemic hit, and we suddenly changed to online teaching and virtual teaching. And for me, it was hard to compartmentalize at least my home space with my workspace. So I stay in one place to do my work and my staying, relaxing at home, and it was very hard to focus for me at the beginning. Yeah.
Quite. Okay, so our third question goes to, no, it's fourth. And what's the difference between online and in-class learning? What's the difference?
Yeah. So I think, at least for me, learning is usually an interactive process, and it means that it involves active interaction between your peers and also your educator. So learning in a classroom environment, you have all these dynamic interactions with people. But with virtual and online classrooms, it's a bit harder to get that dynamic because you are facing a screen, and then it takes a lot of energy also to be fully present online, and then to absorb the information, it takes also a lot of work rather than when you are directly talking with your peers. Even the body language of your teacher or your classmates, it's hard to pick that up, at least when you're doing virtual learning. Yeah.
And also you can't feel the air actually of that class.
Can't feel the atmosphere of the class. That's true.
Yeah. Okay. So, but I think there's some advantage of learning online. And what do you think about it?
Yeah, I think what this pandemic also showed is that we can also access knowledge and information anywhere we want. So if you want to learn something that is not available in your local school, for example, that won't stop you to get international education. You can enroll online, and also it opens the opportunity to learn as much as you can, and also anywhere else in the world. So if you have the ability to manage your time properly, it's a very, very good opportunity to do online learning and to be able to improve yourself on your own by just having internet connection.
Yeah, having a good internet connection and a cup of coffee, maybe.
Yes, a good cup of coffee will lead you.
Yeah. Okay, so what can be the barrier to learn online? Actually, you have to defeat it.
Yeah, and as I said before, it's really hard to be fully focused. You have to have that discipline that, okay, I will face the computer and stay here and do my work, and okay, just this. And for me, at least for most of the people, I guess we have access to internet connection, to the computer, to the devices, all this technology on our hands. But not everyone has this access. So if, for example, they don't have good internet connection and things like this, of course, the learning process will be harder and will not be as accessible for people who has the actual technology. Yeah.
Okay. And sometimes, not sometimes, I actually, usually I face it. And I have two daughters, and one of them is a school student. And she's having her class. And then I need to stand there like 1 hour, 2 hours. Because she's kind of like run and she wants to play something like that. And I see like the barriers on there. Actually, yeah, focusing
it's
is
much
quite
harder.
Yeah, it's quite difficult actually. So I know a few friends from Philippines while I back studied in Japan, and they were like native to English. Their English is very fluent. And how do you learn it? And do you have any like some kind of special training in the school?
So for at least in my capital, so Manila, most of the schools have integrated the English language as the medium of instruction. So more or less, people already speak English from the beginning, the lowest level of the school, until college and postgraduate studies. So that's, I think, one of the reasons why maybe when you spoke with other Filipinos in Japan, they speak fluently. It's because we started learning everything at a very young age. So we also study, of course, in our own language sometimes, but English is always there, integrated already.
Okay. Yeah. So are you studying some subjects in English or in your own language?
Yeah.
English?
Yeah, most of our classes, like for example, science and other non-language courses, mostly are taught in English already. And then we have a separate English class. Yes. We have the same preschool first, and then primary school, and I think you can enter kindergarten at 3. I cannot
Okay.
remember anymore. But for my nephew, maybe he was 3, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
And at that age, they start talking in English already with them. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm.
That's why.
That's why.
Parents were like, yeah, they were like so native, and I was quite curious about that. And then, what would you advise on developing oneself while learning? And people like to learn a lot, but they don't have some access maybe to study, but maybe some others, they are just lazy maybe. So what could you advise on it? And maybe you can give them motivation to learn.
It's harder to learn when you're on your own. I think it's good you have a community of people who wants to learn together. And even if you're not physically together, you get motivation from your peers this way. Like, okay, this group of people motivates me, so okay, I will also work hard on that. For me, outside of school, I like reading, so I read English novels a lot. And I think most of the words I know are from the books I read. So if you're interested in reading, that will be a good way to learn. It's not like you're studying, but you're enjoying what you're doing. And also I like watching films, sitcoms, American shows, and things like this. That's why you pick up not just the dictionary words, but you pick up also how they say things, or like a lingo, things like that. So those kinds of things you get to practice or learn from watching, and it's not studying per se, it's like building it naturally for you. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good advice. So and it's the final question. And thank you so much for your talking and advice to our members. And what would be the last advice or words to our members?
I think I said before, you have to make it at least fun for you, and it's not just, okay, I have to learn this. Learning a new language is a bit exciting because you get to communicate to much more people. So if you practice it with being in an international community, for example, I think when I moved here abroad in Europe, I had to speak in English most of the time. I cannot speak my language. So that's a good practice, and then you also do things that make it more fun for you, and then it will come naturally, I think.
Yeah, and lastly, I also want to express my feelings, like no need to ashamed of your language ability, firstly, because no one is like native to any, like maybe English or some other language, so
that's
just
true.
Don't be ashamed. Yeah,
and try not to watch other people's progress, watch your own progress, because we learn at a different pace. It doesn't mean that you learn lesser time, that you will not learn. It's just do your own thing. Like, if this works for you, then do this thing. If another thing works for another person, then that's their thing. So if you focus on yourself, then you won't feel discouraged.
Okay, so thank you so much again for accepting my invitation. And I didn't want you to stay very long here, so I just prepared 8 questions. And you like your time, and I really like to advise and your time for us. And thank you.
Yeah, thank you too. I had a fun conversation, and I hope your community grows more. It's really inspiring.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.